And I do believe we have the one and only, the legendary Mr. Don Bowles on the phone, do we not?
We do. What's up, Don?
Hi, gang.
Hey, Don, how are you?
I'm doing all right, I guess.
Good, good. Where are you located at right this minute?
I live in beautiful Vernon.
Yeah, and that is
Strictly industrial.
it's strictly industrial, huh?
Well, exclusively industrial is their motto of the town.
Exclusively. Okay. And
Trippy.
Yeah, it's one of the most corrupt burbs in Los Angeles.
so you're where it's fairly warm at is kind of
I mean, I don't actually live there. I live south of Vernon, in the home of Slayer, Huntington Park. But it's 5 feet south of Vernon, so it might as well be Vernon.
right on. So you're still in at least t-shirt weather there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not. So
I
yeah.
still wear my Scientology Sea Org blazer, out when it's dark, because it's just not t-shirt weather so much right now. But
Scientology blazer.
Yeah, it used to have the pin, that weird cross with the rays coming out of the angle.
That logo.
Yeah, but it was the Sea Org thing. Someone gave it to me.
Trippy.
Aaron from Crack We Are Rock, and all these other great bands.
Do you happen to know a lot of Scientology people, like Scientologists?
Oh no, you're not allowed to know them unless you are one.
Oh, okay.
That's right. And they don't speak to you if you're not one of them.
Okay.
No, I know a couple of them, but it's always a little weird.
Trippy.
Like, I know Beck pretty well, and he was weird before that, for sure. He's a weird guy. That's why we like him.
Oh,
But,
Beck.
Yeah, but Scientology made him a little bit, I don't know. He wasn't like a dick or anything. I mean, he was nice.
Yeah.
But,
Trippy. But it made him even weirder, huh?
in a different way. It's like maybe less weird. And that's what was weird.
Wow. Are you
I guess if you want to unweird yourself, you just latch onto some specific weird that already exists, and then you're just part of that.
True. If you want to get that deep, that's true. I've heard of a lot of people, like Juliette Lewis is a Scientologist. I was kind of shocked to hear that, actually.
She's weird.
But then again, she is pretty trippy. Do you know her?
I used to see her around, and I was like, that girl looks a lot like Juliette Lewis.
She's really nice. She's really nice.
I did mosh in a small mosh pit with Daryl Hannah once. That was a medium point in my life.
That's
right.
Neil Young's girl.
Is she?
Yes. Yeah.
I did not know that. That's a trip. I was just Juliette Lewis. I've met her 3-4 times, and she's always so cool. Takes plenty of time to chat with you.
I don't remember having a bad run-in with her.
No, and her band, The Licks, I don't know if she's still playing with The Licks right this moment, but Juliette Lewis and The Licks, and they put on a really good show. She does like a female Iggy Pop kind of thing going on, if you can imagine that.
She's got like a slightly more regular person, the Starcrawler lady body,
Yeah, she flops around all over and kind of
I saw Starcrawler last night.
Oh, yeah, I like Starcrawler. They've got that trippy singer.
Yeah.
Were they good?
She's really cool. Well, yeah, they were fun. They were like they are.
Yeah, that'd be a fun interview.
I blame Courtney Love for all of this.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, for the influence?
But, Arrow's really cool, really, really good girl, and I love her screeching. Her singing's good, too. And when they had, like, harmony choruses, some of those were started to be really effective, which was nice. But,
So are those kids? Are they?
And then you want to write songs for them.
Are those kids Germs fans?
I'm not sure, but they're super nice kids and they're super great players.
Right.
I mean, I think it's hit or miss if someone likes the Germs. If someone's that hip, they probably do, because the Germs have somehow maintained its relevance for a long time now.
Yeah.
Kind of like Robert Johnson or something.
The Germs are like the Robert Johnson of punk rock. Yeah.
It's true. We're like the what I discovered. Bloody,
please.
think of you as bloody, not the Buddy.
Yeah, that was
although as a buddy.
dude. That was a Facebook thing. They wanted my real legal name, and so I said, I've been making.
I'm lucky my name's just so stupid, and they never even think about it.
Well, I
real.
just told them that Buddy was my real name, and I've been making a mockery of it with Bloody, and they're like, okay. So I had to change it though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's.
People have all kinds of ideas as to why, though, that it's Buddy. We've heard all kinds of reasons why.
Well, that's good. It's like it's as important as having your right pronoun, having your right name.
Right? It's like, he's born again. No, I'm not.
I think there's something really creepy about that. That's when I realized that Facebook was going to be a problem, is when they started making people change their names.
Yeah, I hate that.
It was so fun before, like Instagram. You had some crazy name, and it's like, yeah, and you know the people by that in public, too, when you run into them at the shows, and it was cool.
My problem is people keep calling me Buddy, like as if I want to be called that. Come on, Bloody and Buddy, two different worlds.
That is so harsh.
Yeah, it is harsh.
It is harsh.
I'm just not a buddy, man.
No, I mean, wonderful friend, nice guy, upstanding citizen, but
right.
I wouldn't call you that. I'd say Bloody.
Hey, man, are you still running your club?
Yep.
How's that?
I had one the other night, and it was really good. The Solid Tin Dancers were there, and Noah Wallace and I DJ'd the glam singles, and Ian Spinonius and his new wonderful band with his woman Alexandra Cabral played as Escapism. It's his great new band.
Oh wow!
Named after a James Brown song, of course, but I mean, can't go wrong with that, right?
No, I'm a big James Brown fan.
Yeah, and I love almost everything Ian Spinonius does. He's just such a pure soul in his weird, cool way.
Are you still jamming with Mr. Ariel Pink?
Well, I haven't been lately, but apparently, we're still pals. We hang out, we see each other sometimes around right now, And I'm loaning him my cassette machine, and that's how he's doing these transfers for all that new stuff he's releasing.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I also let him borrow an original copy that I think, was it the Doldrums? I forget which one, but it's one of the ones that he just reissued. And
okay.
All the stuff, the cassettes were the accurate ones, and the digital things and the records and stuff that came after were not accurate.
Okay.
So there were true stereo mixes on the original cassettes, and this was one of them. Someone gave it to me. Go, here, you might want this. It's an original Ariel Pink cassette.
Oh, trippy.
Like, yeah, those things are rare.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fans up here, man. A lot of folks up in Portland really, really like Ariel, and that stuff you've recorded with him. That Pom was a great album. Great album, man.
Well, thank you. And we worked our little tookuses off on that thing. And also, there's that little thing of Ariel being, to me, and to my mind, the best songwriter in the world right now.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely the best because no one can even touch what he does. He goes so deep in it.
Yeah.
He has taken it to a place, that only he can really comfortably navigate. And anyone else that tries ends up kind of sounding half-assed or silly, just
wow.
silly. And like his stuff can be silly, but there's a depth to a lot of it. That really isn't in other things. And he's really just, he's spent a lot of his life, and he spends a lot of his time just being that guy, writing the songs, and making them happen. And he also went to recording school, and that's why he has an extra interest in the recording process. And he chose to do it the way he did because, well, that's what he could get right at the time. But because there was definitely a thing to it. And the thing is, you can hear it better now on these reissues because it's his original intent is on these things, and sometimes that's good. Like, it was bad when Zappa did that, to We're Only In It For The Money, and put a new bass and drum track on it. That was horrible.
Yeah.
But Ariel doing this is true to his intent and the original way the stuff is supposed to do. And I'd recommend that everyone run out and buy these reissues. What is it, like Loverboy, Underground, and another Oddities and Sodomies?
Yeah, the new Ariel Pink reissues.
It's all good.
Hey,
it's really good. But anyway, so much for that. I do some great stuff too, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw some interesting.
Ariel.
I saw interesting. The photos I saw. I guess it was yesterday. I was looking online and I saw pictures of you at Pamela DeBar's, the famous rock and roll groupie. Were you over at her house?
Yeah.
What
I
was
was very privileged to be over at her birthday party. I knew her from before, like not like. I mean, I used to fantasize about her picture, the 200 Motels poster, you know, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And, like, she looked like the Terry Garr that didn't exist yet, you know? and then, like, and so but she was just beautiful, whoever she was. I didn't know that was that same person. And then, but, you know, in Scottsdale, you could get Star Magazine, which was, like, dedicated to teenage girls, showing them how to be groupies, and it was about groupie culture.
Wow.
And there were 4 issues total.
Times have changed.
And we'd get them when they come out because they'd have great cartoons with people in platforms that looked cool, and they talked a lot about like Bowie and Iggy and the Rolling Stones, oddly enough, who had kind of gone glam in their dress style, as everyone had to right then. But it was really scandalous, like by today's standards. And Pamela and her friends were like in their early teens and tweens in some cases. But Lori Maddox was very young when she went out with Jimmy Page, and all these people would hang out at Rodney's English Disco and Kim Valley. There was another place, the Sugar Shack in the Valley, and Kim Valley and Rodney were the only people over 18 allowed to be there. Otherwise, it was an 18 and under club, and there were a few of those in L.A.
Wow.
And that's where a lot of the kids hung out, all the Runaways chicks, all the groupie girls, you know, everybody.
Interesting. It's such a different era. Like we had Cherie Curie on the show recently, and she was
totally different.
And Cherie was telling us the same thing you're talking about, like how the differences of today's rock scenes are so completely different worlds, you know?
It is. It really is. And it's been. If I had not written for the LA Weekly for 20 years and pay attention, you know, like being on the radio and doing all the things that I do, being in bands and playing around and doing sound and having clubs, you know, I would really wonder how it got here.
There you go.
It's not a bad place, but man, you got to really look. And it's hard to. There's no real scene like there was before. It was like you like this thing or you like this other thing, and we're a dork, you know. And it's like there weren't that many options. Now there's everything from the past that exists still and is better than everything from now. And then there's everything from now where everyone has a computer and suddenly they think they're a producer and a big time Trident mixing board, you know, analog tape studio.
Yeah.
So they have some plugins and apps. And it's really, really twisted that there's so much available. You know, it's like it used to be weird to find like song poem records and find like weird thrift store records and vanity pressings. The vanity pressings, for instance, it's like, well, that's out the window as a thing. It's like you can just look at anybody's YouTube channel and see them doing some terrible thing, you know, that they think is good.
You know,
and it's hilarious as any vanity pressing, but now there's so much. It's just weird.
It is weird. I was talking with Derek Bostrom from the Meat Puppets a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me that he remembers that story about you guys playing back in the day, the private show. He said he remembers it a lot different than you, but that it did happen. But he was funny because he had a completely different recollection.
Oh, yeah?
That's funny. So, yeah, I'll have to send that over to you. Maybe you can hear what he had to say. It was funny, though. It was like his rebuttal to you.
A rebuttal.
He's like, I remember that story. He knew immediately, so he had heard that from somebody else. So it's just funny because, you know, it's just legendary punk stories being remembered by different people. It's funny.
Yep.
Hey, you still got your beard, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I saw you, I was like, wow, Don completely switched his look from, you know, Don's look to one of a Viking Santa Claus sort of look. I don't know. It's cool.
It's true.
I'm like, is that Don Bowles?
I know. People don't recognize me. My friends. Rodney didn't recognize me. He's like, who is this creep trying to shake my hand last night at the Star Crawler show?
Why did you have to change your appearance?
Because I got the shingles on my face. And it's like under my nose here, under my nose between, you know, the mustache zone on the right side. And then it's also in my eye and around my eye.
Oh,
it's
no.
still healing, and it's been a year. Yeah, it sucks. I don't recommend you get shingles, any of them.
Ooh, dude, I didn't know you had that.
Painful.
1 in 3 people has it. Did you know this?
I knew it was very common. I mean, anyone who's had the chicken pox can have the shingles.
Yeah, but you know what else? This is what's worse. I talked to real doctors about this since I got it. And I went to a number of emergency rooms and doctors before we figured out everything to do. And there wasn't much to do, by the way. But it's just mostly like, well, I guess you got to wait till it goes away, huh? But they also said, even if you were exposed to chickenpox, just exposed to it, which means everyone that went to public school.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was exposed to chickenpox.
So even if you didn't have it.
Exposed to chickenpox, and you can get it. So be prepared, get the vaccine, which also, by the way, causes shingles. So,
oh, great. Yeah.
yeah, so you're darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Well, I
friendly way of saying that.
I sure hope that you get over that very soon, because I know that has to be
nice,
very unpleasant. What's going on in the future for Don Bowles?
Nerve pain is no joke. So what's that?
I was just saying, what's going on in the future for Don Bowles?
What's going on next?
Yeah, what are you doing like in the next year or so?
I'm doing all sorts of stuff. I got, still working on that Fancy Space People album. Well, we worked on it for like probably 3 days a year for 10 years. But
it's good stuff, though. I love that sound a lot. It's such a classic. It is really good.
And I gave you a CDR of it, right?
You sure did.
Yeah, that stuff's good. Even our T-shirt girl, who is not easy to impress, from Ariel's dance, she's like, what is this that you're listening to? And we were listening to it in the back of the bus. And I'm like, well.
No, it is good. It's real psychedelic glam, just greatness, man. The Fancy Space People. I love it, man.
There's not a lot of things like that, that have also like the AC/DC guitar sound.
True. Yeah, you've kept some rock and roll in there. It's really cool. And you've also got Don's got one of the best record collections in the world. I've seen like these glam rock records from like different countries.
Its own thing.
Pop records from all over the world. It's awesome, man.
I just got that Iowa Ear Music album. Do you know that?
I don't. Iowa Ear Music.
Iowa Ear Music, like in corn, ear. And it's really strange. It's like people playing in different rooms, and they mix it together, and they don't see each other at all, but they hear each other.
Wow, kind of like that. Kind of like the very first Plasmatics album. They separated each other on one of the songs and did that on just one song though.
Well, this is a whole album of that, and then someone mixes it together, and then actually sometimes they'd have a whole ensemble in one room, and then somebody mixed them all together into one long piece on each side. And it's really, really super interesting. It's from the 70s and from an Iowa college.
Well, when you going to be coming back up north, man, up through Oregon? Anytime? You have any plans?
I don't know. We were Hammered Satin, which is a band I sing for. It's like the only bubblegum glam band in Los Angeles, or really anywhere that I know of. It's kind of from the junk shop glam.
We're gonna play a song by that band next.
Excellent. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I sing with them. I'm like I did with Ariel. I'm right up front with Noah Wallace, who, by the way, is the king of glam. He has, I have a lot of the junk shop glam records. I have almost all the good ones, but he's got 10 times more than I do.
Wow.
So it's just crazy. He just hit this mother load of bubblegum records, too. He found a guy on eBay who just had this insane collection of bubblegum records somehow, and he's selling them all to Noah. And
you've got the new Hammered Satin, the 2019 vinyl is available on Bubblegum Pink vinyl. Is that right?
Yeah, it's true. It's a good sounding record. Turn the bass down on side 2 because the toms get a little bit doomy from some of it, but whatever. And but everything else about that record is perfect.
Well, we're going to play a track right now. It's called Baby Vampire. So before we let you go, what should we know about Baby Vampire?
Well, we did it. It was actually Noah got the idea from the B side of a Leo 7-inch.
Huh.
But it was in French, like Baby Vampire, or something, whatever.
Trippy.
And So he thought it'd be cool to have a song about a baby vampire in English.
Nice.
And so we did that, and then I did some backing vocals.
So you're on the
band now.
You're on the high backing vocals, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of that Flo and Eddie stuff. But then I also do the Dracula guy at the end of the song.
Nice.
Where I'm kind of, if you listen carefully at the end, you'll hear me saying, "You there with the glasses of blood. I've been wanting to do this for years." You know,
cool.
It's sort of a riff on the Hoople, All the Young Dudes ending.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's Hammered Satin as the song, as the band, and of course it's Don Bolles.
Yeah.
You're listening to KSKQ, the Almighty Church of Rock radio show. Don, thanks for always coming on the show. We hope you'll come back on in a few months again, man.
Yeah, me too. Anytime.
Awesome, brother. Tracy, you want to say bye to Don?
Yeah, thanks so much, Don, and we look forward to seeing you next time you're anywhere in our vicinity. And
well, yeah, I'm hoping to come up with Hammered Satin at some point.
Nice.
We were going to tour with the Hollywood Stars, do a West Coast tour, and maybe that could still be on. We should probably chat with some people about that and see if we can do it.
That would be awesome. Please keep us posted. And until then, we're going to go ahead with some Hammered Satin and Baby Vampire here on the Church of Rock and KSKQ.
Hail Satin.
Cheers, my brother. Hail Satin.
Hail Satin.
Don Bolles rules. Take care, bro.